Hello, I'm Arlen Hackett with Storytellers of San Diego. Every first Thursday of the month, we host a storytelling concert at Eclipse Chocolate Bistro. Of course, since the pandemic, we haven't been able to host the concert beginning in April. The happy news is that Eclipse Chocolate Bistro is open again with limited service. They are serving with social distancing, lunch and dinner, and special carry-out. We are very happy that they're back, and in the meantime, we are offering concerts via video on the YouTube channel. And we have some very happy news. We now have a national or international audience because we are on YouTube. The theme of today's concert is Upside Down, Inside Out, which is how a lot of us are feeling. In these crazy times, I often read or listen to stories that take me away from what is happening now. I especially like stories that make me feel less alone, take me to another world, give me a fresh perspective, and maybe make me smile or inspire me to move forward. Each storyteller today will interpret Upside Down, Inside Out in their own way. I will be starting first with a redo of a classic fairy tale. But now, I want to go to the comfort of my rocking chair, so I'm going outside in. Today you will hear stories from Jim Dykman, Sarah Salter, David Schmidt, Eric Tauber, and a newcomer is training as a storyteller, Kent Cross. And I'm Arlen Hackett. Welcome to the San Diego Storytellers, September 2020. Once upon a time, not a very long time ago, there was an emperor who was rich, extravagant, arrogant, and who just loved to show off his wealth. So every year he had a big parade on the anniversary of his coronation. So for his 10th anniversary, he decided he needed to do something very special. The emperor loved gold. So he decided there should be a lot of gold things at this coronation parade. He heard about a tailor who specialized in creating robes with gold ornamentation. So contacted the tailor brought a sample, and he went, oh wow, this is exactly what I want. Magnificent, it's huge, it's wonderful. And then the tailor said, well, you know, I have a buddy who's a baker, and for this big celebration, you should have a cake, a big chocolate cake that you distribute to all of the people, and it will be decorated in gold leaf. And the emperor's going, oh, I don't know, well, we'll send the baker down. So the baker came to the palace and brought a sample of this chocolate cake. The emperor went nuts. He goes, oh my God, this is the best cake I've ever had in my life. Now what the baker didn't realize was the cake that he liked, it was not about the chocolate, it was about the gold leaf. He loved to eat gold. About 6 months before the big event, the baker and the tailor moved into the palace so they could get started. The baker was getting things organized, and he was putting the gold leaf in the various places in the royal bakery. And every day he kept going, am I missing something on the count? I keep having fewer packages of gold leaf. I think someone is stealing from the bakery. So he decided to hide out. And he was there quite a while. It was dark. Nothing was happening. Then he heard this little rustling. And he looked around the corner, and sure enough, there was the emperor eating packages of gold leaf. The baker sneaked back ran back to where the tailor lived, and they started talking about, oh my God, we're going to run out of gold because the emperor is obsessed with gold. So they decided what they needed to do was contact a goldsmith, and maybe the goldsmith could provide them with more gold for the ornamentation, maybe more gold that they could manufacture for the gold leaf, for the cake. The goldsmith was going, oh yes, I can do that. I would love to help you out. What the baker and the tailor didn't know was the goldsmith was a member of the deep state. This was his moment in time. Yes, I can help you. Yes, I can help you. But you're going to have to let me get into the palace because there will be things that I need to do there to make this all work. You could call me the baker's apprentice. They were kind of weirded out by this, the baker and the tailor, but they said, okay, why not? And so in comes the goldsmith. And then with the goldsmith came a safecracker, a person who was an expert in breaking into safes. They didn't call him that. They had some kind of strange title for his role. And they also brought in a person that was a toxicologist in the coroner's office. No one knew, the baker or the tailor didn't know what this guy was about. Well, the safecracker learned how to open the royal treasury and bring gold out. The toxicologist started figuring out how much gold would it take to assassinate the emperor. The goldsmith said, oh, just keep giving this guy gold. And the toxicologist was telling him, oh, there's no fear of poisoning him. Just give him as much as he wants. The king the emperor was just going wild. Oh, I love this, I love this. There was gold in his soup, there was gold in his salad, there was gold in his meat dishes. Gold everywhere. And then what was the first thing that happened? He started going blind. The second thing was he was losing his sense of touch. The next thing that was happening was his memory was kind of going. He kind of drifted a lot. And gold started depositing in his body. So there were these sagging pecs, sagging cheeks, sagging butt. And there are some other sagging parts, but I won't talk about those. So this was happening. But the king, blind, losing his mind, was thrilled with the progress. The emperor's body was being filled with gold. The time for the coronation came, was coming quickly, and all of these grifters couldn't figure out why the emperor hadn't died yet. They were really weirded out by this, so they had to figure out something to do. But the tailor realized that the emperor had lost his sense of touch. So when he tried to put him into a gown or a robe or whatever, the emperor couldn't feel it. And so he told his colleagues about this, and they said, ooh, oh, you persuade the emperor that you are fitting him for robes, but you don't have to do anything. Let him be just naked. Closer and closer it was to the coronation. And the goldsmith brought in another person from the deep state, and he was a butcher. And the baker says, we don't need another butcher in the royal kitchen. And the goldsmith said, oh yes, we do. We have to go panning for gold. The day of the big parade approached. The emperor had to be propped up in this kind of chariot-like affair because he was kind of like waggling around, not knowing what he was doing. But he loved to hear cheers from the crowds. And a very strange thing happened. It was morning. The parade route was from west to east. What happened, these grifters had decided it would be great fun to see the emperor totally embarrassed by being naked in front of the people. What they didn't realize was actually the emperor's body started looking like gold dust. It had a gold tone to it. And when they were going toward the sun, it reflected off his body, and nobody could see what he really looked like. They didn't realize that he was naked because the reflection was in their eyes, and then they couldn't handle it. So what happens is the people are saying, oh, we got to cheer, we got to shout, we got to make them feel great. So they were doing that, yay to the emperor, yay to the emperor. And the emperor got to the end of the parade route, and he was so gratified by the people's appreciation, he decided that he wanted to do a reverse route. So this time, he was going back the other direction. And what happened is, there was no reflection. It was in a shadow. And as he came closer and closer, there was these boys that said, the emperor's naked. And they were going, no, the emperor is naked. And then one of the boys, the emperor is naked. And all these people, hush, 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 this can't be. You shouldn't say things like that. And as the emperor got closer and closer, indeed, he was naked. The boys were shouting, he's naked, he's naked. And the older women were going, oh my, oh my. And then, out of nowhere, an adult, started shouting, he's naked. And before long, all of the people on the parade route were shouting, he's naked. The story goes that the emperor went back to his palace. He went into seclusion. He never came out. People knew he was there. He stopped eating gold, and so he started having some vision and sight and got better. All of the deep state grifters fled the country. And so, as history paints the picture, what was this time all about? And the historians say, it was what it was.